Hey guys, welcome back to another professionalism and networking video. This time around, we're going to be talking about professional emails. The reason I'm doing this is because I feel like a lot of people, especially once they're first starting out right into college, they're not really sure how to send emails to professors or potential employers or maybe even other classmates or other people that you're just trying to get into contact with. This is like a very valuable skill, and you'll basically be using it for majority of your career, if not all of it, depending on where you go. Yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So I wanted to start off with talking about what exactly makes a good email. So one thing is to be very concise and be straight to the point, because usually if you're trying to contact maybe an employer or even just about anyone in a professional setting, they don't really care as much about like a bunch of fluff, whereas they want to get the information fairly easily. They want to understand exactly what you're trying to ask or say. And you really just don't want to confuse the person that you're sending an email to. So make sure to be very concise and straight to the point. With that, you also want to be speaking in a professional manner. Not a lot of casual language, no slang, things like that, because you don't want you really want to show yourself off as a professional in these types of conversations. You don't really want to talk to someone as though maybe they're like your best friend or things like that. That's not really the same thing. So in a professional setting, you need to have like proper grammar, obviously, different types of like no spelling mistakes, things like that, no slang terms really. That's all very important to make sure the employer sees you, or employer or teacher or whoever sees you in like, I guess, the best light, so to speak. With that, you also want to have really good formatting. So this means like when you're creating an email, things aren't just a giant blob of text. If it's only a couple sentences, that's pretty much fine, just keeping everything together. But normally, like, you want different sections broken up, pretty much like paragraphs, but probably even shorter, maybe 2 or 3 sentences. It really depends on the situation for that type of thing, but I mean that would be to use your best judgment in those types of cases, and you'll learn over time with that type of thing as well. The other thing is to know exactly who you're talking to, as well as why you're contacting that person. So understanding these two components is really kind of hand in hand. Knowing who you're talking to and exactly what you're trying to get out of that person, whether it be a potential opportunity or just some type of information, will really help you in trying to keep things concise, and keeping things like as condensed, and not like condensed in the sense that it's understandable, but it's not overly wordy, things like that. And understanding exactly what you're trying to do with this email, what your purpose is there, will really help a lot to do that. So from here, it's going to transition to a mock email that I made, that I just sent to a person, or I didn't actually send it, but it's pretty much just a mock email. And yeah, so I'm going to transition into that. And the key focus here is just to show you guys kind of what goes through my brain when I'm trying to send an email, as well as like the different sections, and things like that that might potentially be a part of an email as well. So yeah, we're going to switch to that. Okay, so to start off, I wanted to show you guys exactly how to create a signature for your email. So what you want to do is click on this gear right here, click settings, and then scroll down to, where is it? Oh, right here. Scroll down to signature. And what you'll see to start is that there's no signature there. But if you've already created a signature in the past, it'll just be listed here. But for our purposes, this is going to be like a new signature. So you click create new, and I'm just going to call it signature. And now what you see here is this text block here. And so what you do is you fill in your information here. So for me, it's my name. And then if you want to do your university, you do it there. And then what I'll also do is have my major. So and I also have my year normally here too. So computer engineer. Yeah. So this is pretty much like the basic information. If you want to add like your specific degree, you can, things like that. But that's pretty much up to you. And then from here, what I'll normally have is maybe a title. So some type of title would go here. For example, if it's for a specific position that you currently have, you might want to put that information down there, and maybe a club position, things like that. And then underneath that, what I like to do is put down my email. And then also I'd have my phone number here as well. So the purpose behind this is just to have this information available so that whenever you decide that you like whenever you send an email, all this information is available to whoever you're sending that email to. So for example, if they haven't gotten hold of you or they haven't heard back to you, they could try emailing you, or they could also try phone calling you, things like that. Same thing with like your title. For example, if something's specific to that position, they might want to know exactly what your title is. If you're representing an organization or a club, things like that, it's important information for whoever's receiving those emails. So yeah, and then once you're done, you just scroll all the way down and click Save Changes. And now, as soon as you compose an email, get rid of that. Oh, 1 second. Compose. Let's see what's going on here. It is listed there. Not sure why it didn't pop up. Let's see. Oh, okay, gotcha. Signature defaults. So what you want to do is add that to have your signature as a default. And then the way that I normally have it is on replies, there is no signature. I'll normally just have my name at the end of those types of emails, but that's really up to you guys for what you're interested in. So yeah, save changes and go back, and now it automatically shows up. So there are a couple other settings that you can mess around with in that section too for your emails, but that's really up to you guys. Email signatures are pretty much just a few lines at the end of each email, and this is kind of something that you can add to your email automatically through Gmail. There's actually a section that I'll be showing you in a second that will, you just plug in what you want your email signature to be, and it'll automatically fill that in depending on your settings that you choose later on. So it's just a few lines at the end of your email. The main thing is here, it's going to have your name, maybe your title, some contact information, some other stuff as well. Really, it's just what you want at the end of every single email that you send. Normally what I have is my name, my position, if I have something like that. That depends on if you're going in and sending an email from the position as a student or just as yourself, or as a representative of a company that you might be working for. Depending on if you have multiple emails for different things, your actual signatures might change depending on which email that you're using, because different emails might have different purposes. Some might be professional, some might be personal, and things like that. It really depends on your personal situation and understanding exactly what way you want to use the email signature in. I pretty much just have one signature that I use for everything. And for example, what I've done is I've normally had any positions that I've held for a given moment as a student at my university. Those are the things that I've kept in my email. And then sometimes I'll add other information depending on if I'm going in from a different email for a job potentially. So yeah, the purpose here is just to have something consistent, and it's automatically added to the end of your emails. And then it kind of adds like a secondary level of professionalism to your emails, because all of your emails pretty much have this piece of consistency. So whenever you're talking to maybe the same person or different people, they always have this little tag at the bottom that shows like this is your email, and it's kind of just like something that a lot of professionals expect of you as well. So now I'm going to transition into actually showing you how to create an email signature. I'm doing this in Gmail. I don't really know how to do this in other email platforms automatically. Obviously, you could just write this at the end of every email, but Gmail has a built-in functionality where you can just do it automatically. So yeah, I'm going to transition into that. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is a sample email. This is, I guess I'll just call it test. And we're not going to plug in a recipient. This doesn't actually matter, but what we're going to say, for example, is that you're contacting someone that you've already met, maybe at like a job fair or some type of networking event. And this is just something that you might want to do after one of those types of events, just to say hello again, thank them for talking to you, having a nice conversation, things like that, and potentially asking them for more information. So um, I'm just going to say hello, I'm just going to say blank as the name, and then from there, the way that I normally format it is I have a space before this and then a space right after I address them with hello, and then I have another line space at the very end too, and then if I have a lot of text I might break that up as I see fit as well. So first off I would say like thank you for our wonderful conversation last this maybe yesterday at some event, whatever. And then what you could do is talk about a few things regarding like what you found interesting, things like that, and then a few questions or information that you want to have. And then from there, so you could just type your questions, whatever, and then always at the very end, just say thank you for your time, and I normally say like if it's a weekend, have a good weekend or have a nice day, whatever. It really depends on the day for that, but you get the general idea here. Um, yeah, so mainly what I wanted to show is you have your signature that will always appear here now, and then you have whatever formatted text you have here. So normally what I'll have is like a couple sentences and then maybe a break and then a couple sentences, and especially if I have like a list or questions or things like that, I'll try to break it up as much as possible just so it's a little bit easier to read. Um, and actually what I would have here probably is like my questions just uh, what was the best part of your job, or questions like that if you're asking someone about their position, things like that. How did you get involved in this industry? So these are just like random questions that I'm just thinking of. So the way that I would have them is just list them like this, and then potentially like right before that just have like some type of intro to explain what you're doing there, and then or what you're trying to say and things like that. Yeah, so overall I just wanted to show that this is how the signature pops up, and then a little bit of a brief explanation of how I go about sending emails and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for showing you here. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and feel free to check out any of my other videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.